up, guys? Hello. All right. Bear with me a moment. Been kind of grinding along to get this ready for today. And over there, where I've been working on this, getting some of these parts ready, doing all the panel lining and everything, the lighting's not as good. And over here, under better lighting, I'm seeing there's a couple little spots I want to clean up a little bit more here with some panel lining. As you guys may recall, if you've seen part one of working on this kit. Good afternoon, everyone. One of the things that I'm doing with this, I'm not fully painting the whole kit. I know that's not anything that I want to do. So instead, what I'm actually doing is just repainting some of the parts. So instead of it having all these blue parts, I'm repainting all the blue parts to this beautiful orange color, which has the result of the Gojulas looking like this. Very cool. So yes, in the first part, we built the head and the body. Essentially, in today's video, we're going to be finishing the tail, and then building one of the arms. The second arm, I don't have all the parts finished with all the paneling and everything, unfortunately. So I'll have to finish the second arm off camera, but then we'll also build the backpack today. So that's what's on the agenda today. I'll finish the second arm off camera, and then in part 3, live build part 3, we'll finish the build with the legs and cannons. So this kit does not include the cannons, but I did get the cannon parts set separately so that we can build the cannons for this as well. And I had to like double take to check to make sure that you can have these backpack parts on and the cannons at the same time, or if it's an either or thing, then I don't need to bother painting the parts for the backpack or these parts, right? But fortunately, yes, you can have both parts on at the same time. So what I'm wondering, and unfortunately I don't have the manual for the cannon parts here, but I think it's a matter of omitting this part right here if you're planning on using the cannons, which I'm wondering, because I want to omit that part if that is indeed the case, but I'm not sure. Let's see. I wonder if I can find. It's gonna be like a shot in the dark here. Zoids, HMM. What would it be? Gojulas. Cannon part set manual. I don't know if I can find the manual for that. Looking for a manual. Well, yeah. If it's the manual for the Gojulas, the ogre, that would show how to. Let's see. Can anyone find that? That can send me a link real quick so that I can just get on with the build. If anyone can find a link with either the manual for the cannon part set or the manual for the ogre that shows how the cannons are attached, then that way I can make sure to keep that in mind. But for now, let's finish up the tail first, shall we? Hey, Shadow, how's it going? Roan and Patrick, what's going on, guys? And Izhan, hello. How's it going? Can you do a revive on the HG powered gym? Like a review? You mean like a new review on that kit? No plans to, of course, but I mean, I could consider that. Sure. It's thundering outside suddenly. You can hear the thunder. I was hearing it a little bit, like not too long ago, a little bit, and I thought that was it, but now it's kind of kicking up again. So yeah, I repainted the blue parts to orange, and also have done all the panel lining ahead of time, mostly just by panel line pen. And after everything's done, I will go ahead and put some decals on too. But that's one thing that I've not done ahead of time. I'll do that later once the kit is all put together. I can put on some decals. But for now, let's try not to lose any parts, because with this section of the build, as you guys will see, there are some quite small parts that will be coming across. Basically, how the sections of the tail go from now on, there's one, is this right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 essentially sections of the tail that just are like, the construction is pretty much exactly the same. They just get like slightly smaller with each section. And so, yes, that should make it kind of easier, I guess. But there are, once you get down to the 3rd, 4th, 5th sections, the parts do get quite small. We are going to need some poly caps here. What's that first one? PC1A. Oh, that's convenient. This is the last polycap off of this runner, so that means we can go ahead and bin this runner. It's a polycap runner anyway. No more of this one. Adios. How's it going? Yes, so it's going good here for me, and hope that you guys are doing well also. If you missed it, just hours ago, literally like an hour and a half ago, I had a live stream with the guest judges for the Old to Gold contest with George and Brian. So check that out if you guys missed it. This is, okay, no, it's the right part, but I have that in the wrong place. Okay. Yeah, check out that video. In particular, if you're participating or interested in participating in the Old to Gold contest. If you're not and have no interest, then there's not really much reason, I guess, for you to check out that live stream. But if you are, or even if you're maybe not participating, but you just want to hear some nice discussion there. It's the other thing that I'm kind of worried about. Because I did all the pen aligning ahead of time, some sections I kind of have to guess as to what really needs to be pen aligned or not, because some parts do and some parts don't really need to be pen aligned if they're going to show or not. I was like, some parts I'll check in the manual to see if I can see, just like based off of what I can tell in the manual and based off what I can see in the photos, if like certain parts are going to be showing or not. But sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. So I might end up identifying a couple of parts here and there that I need to go back and do a little bit more pen aligning on, but probably not, like I said, because it's not really the main concern. As long as the majority of parts that should be pen aligned are pen aligned, then that's fine. Because again, this is not like a fully painted build. This is just a build that I'm doing that I want to dress it up to look nice and to look custom, but it's not like a full-on custom. So, all right. Yes, and the ending part of the tail also is like the last section of the tail is a little bit different in that it has the like little cannons, cannons on it. Can't wait to build my ogre one day when I have the space. Yeah, it certainly takes up a lot of space, a lot of time. And so it's one that, yeah, I understand. Now wait a second. What the heck is that part? G16. What is that part? Runner G. That's not a clear part, is it? It looks like it might be a clear part that I don't have. Runner G was what? Oh. What? No. Okay. Hang on. G1. No. Oh, no. That's not a part at all. It's my writing in the manual. So, okay. Kind of funny. So for these parts, And honestly, I didn't really need to do that because they're kind of easy to tell. So like, you can see this part right here with this little like line next to it. Okay, let me zoom back out then here. There's these parts, which are like, there's ones of these, which are like the parts that go on like the top of the tail, which, like I said, like progressively get smaller. And just so that I didn't confuse them, I marked them all with a number. Like this one's number 1, this one's number 2, with Roman numerals on the bottom, 3, and then marked it matching. So like this is Roman numeral 1. I wrote there next to the part in the manual, and then it's on the physical part itself, just so that I wouldn't get them mixed up. Like when I was looking at the manual, I thought I didn't recognize that as the line that I made there, but it looked like it was maybe like some sort of part that goes on there, but it's not. Okay. Anyway, whew, that's good. Thought maybe it was like a part that I left at home or something, because all the runners are not here. I have all the runners at home. So if there's anything that I forgot to cut off the runner, then that's kind of going to bring this live stream to a halt because I don't have the runners here to just go grab the part. All right. So, yeah. Oh, aside from not having all of the parts totally ready to build the second arm, we might end up running out of time as well because we only have until 5 p.m. This build, there's a lot of parts, so it's very likely we could end up running out of time before we would, in theory, even get to finishing both arms anyway, so that's fine. There's our one section, next section of the tail. Anyway, here, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom out a bit more here. Actually, hang on. There we go. Kind of had that same issue with my Berserk Fury. What? Mixing up parts or not mixing up parts. Anyway, that goes there. Then this next section is ×2. So the next section is then the parts. Oh, damn. The parts for, there's like kind of like these like little stabilizer legs that are on the tail. I'm not sure what's the best photo to show you as an example, but anyway, yeah, the tail has these little legs connected onto there that fold down. But anyway, that's what we're building next, which is ×2. So we want this piece and this piece, and these I don't think need to go on in any order, but we've got a couple little gold accents, gold and silver, chrome, actually, I guess, accents that go on here. It's the wrong way. But these like piston spring detail parts on there. Like this. Right? I think so. Or not. Interestingly, I think I forgot to, speaking of forgetting parts, looks like this is where I may have forgotten a couple of parts. Because I think I have forgot to cut out the second set of these silver spring parts, so that is something that, unfortunately, I can put this together for now, and it's just going to be missing a couple of parts. I'll have to add those on later to make a mental note to add those, because I definitely forgot them, it seems. And this one too, it's like not wanting to fit onto here. Hang on. Should be like this. Okay, yeah. So I'm missing the spring parts for the other side. Must have left those on the runner, and hopefully they're still on the runner at home and not already long gone in the recycling. That would be a shame. But they should still be. Let me just check here. That's from runner Y. I doubt that runner's done. So runner Y. There's a fair amount of stuff on there, so I'd imagine that if there's any parts from the Y runner that are going to be used for the legs, then I definitely don't have the runner, haven't thrown the runner out or anything, because still have to cut out all the parts for the legs still yet. So, all right, well, we'll have to deal with that later. For now, we can move on. Fortunately, it's like an exterior part that is not needed to just at least put the kit together right now. This part, anyway. Took me a while to realize which part was the one I needed. Yeah, the tails on these kits that have long tails, where it's basically just like repeating sections. If you build in the manner that I do, where like you cut out all the parts ahead of time, or even some of the parts ahead of time, whatever, it could cause some confusion. So, all right, let's see. Okay. Make sure I get these parts together here properly. Just a second, guys. I gotta. Oh, unless I forget to. Always forget to do that. What's the music? Okay. Yeah, these parts here. And then how's this going to fit? Okay. Wait, what? Oh, gotcha. Like this. And this one here. Now, like I talked about this before, that because this kit just has like so many parts, and in the manual, so there's like some parts in the manual where they have to put a lot of parts, a lot of small details into a very small space. So sometimes it can be kind of hard to see, hard to follow in the manual, but it's not too bad. Just have to make sure I'm trying to pay attention here. Not to miss anything. Fingers crossed. Yeah, and hopefully I have that part right too. We shall see. This one here, this one there. Hey, what's up, DT Warrior? Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday afternoon. Okay. That's not useful. This is actually a part of the design that I don't really particularly care for, and honestly would have been fine. I wish, well, I wonder, yeah, I mean, wondering how this, like how the tail would look if you just opted not to build this section, not to have these parts on there. Because it kind of feels like they're not really needed. Interesting. Well, like I guess I should say if you felt that you didn't need them, didn't want to use them. Interesting. Then would be kind of nice to just be able to omit them easily, but looking at this, well, hang on, let me just get these put together. So there's our two like stabilizer legs, and these just plug up into onto a peg right here. So yeah, you could just basically just cut off that peg and just like sand that down, or just leave it. I mean, because it just looks like a detail there essentially, but that's all these parts are plugged onto, just there like that. So, I mean, I would imagine that you could just opt to omit these if you really wanted to, but not me, not now. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think so. Plug this onto here. And with that, our tail is getting longer, and that might make it difficult to stand up the kit. Let's see. Well, it's getting huger. Let's move on. Now, this next section is where, like, that section of the tail has like the little stabilizer legs, as I'm calling them. The next 1, 2, 3, 4 sections are basically just the same steps repeated, but slightly smaller. So that's what you're very much going to see for this next part. This would be part 2. And there's one teeny tiny little piece here. Made it a little late. I'm just fiddling around with my collection. What's going on, Dylan? Yeah, you made it. Plenty of time. Don't worry. This is a hefty build, so there's still a lot to work on. Kind of annoying how this part doesn't. I wish they would have made these pegs on this gold part slightly longer, so that when you need to put this into here, and then you need to sandwich it between these parts, it won't stay in there unless I'm holding it, so I kind of have to like hold both parts at the same time here. It does make it a little bit of an annoying juggling act. I don't like when I have to do this. It just kind of slows down your construction process. But all right, there's that. And you need another polycap here. Polycap, we need polycap 26 again, 2 of those for the next step, as well as polycap 2, 8. Is that right? Yeah, okay. Okay, that. And that's gonna go here. It's honestly daunting to see so many parts to build. How many days do you think it will take to build everything? Well, if I was focusing solely, like, only on this kit and not anything else, it still probably would take me like most of the week. I mean, and it depends on what you wanted to do with it. If you're planning on just only snap building it and not doing anything else to it, you could build it. I mean, I could build it in a couple days, I guess. One day, I think, no, because it took a long time just to cut out all these parts, and I still haven't cut out, for like I said, the third part of the build, which will be the legs and the cannons. I haven't even cut those parts out yet. So I mean, it would take probably better half of a day, most of a day, depending on what you're talking about, considering a day. I mean, like, whether you're considering it a work. I'm speaking about like a working day, right? So 8 hours, probably. Maybe not quite that much, but it would take a good amount of time just to cut out all the parts, and then even just to prepare all the parts for just snap building, that means just like cleaning up all the nubs and everything. Yeah, it would take a few days. I mean, just to even snap build it. It's taking a bit longer because of the fact that I'm also doing like the pen aligning on it ahead of time, and the repainting the blue parts. So that adds to the time. Absolutely. Yep. Wait. That goes on there. This one goes on the top. Like, really try to pay attention to how this goes together, because like I said, it's essentially just copy and paste the construction process for the next couple of sections. Yeah, anyway, long and short of it is, if I focused only on this, it would probably take better part of a week. So like Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. It's a long build, for sure. If you're like actually like fully painting the whole thing, whew, man. Plus like all the sanding and prep work to do like a good proper paint job on something like this, like not just like a slap bang, like quick, simple paint job, which even on the parts that I'm repainting, I'm not like fully resanding and prepping them as I normally would for like a painted project. I'm just like, remove the nub, not even doing any sanding, and just painting. 26 and 26. All right, I think this is going to be probably the last section. We're using the 26 and 8 and 26. But man, yeah, to do like a proper, like full sanding and painting and everything else on these parts, quite the endeavor. Which is why I opted not to do that. Could have just done just a simple snap build, like for the Iron Kong. I didn't do anything extra on that, just the snap build. And as you guys saw, if you watched the live build of that even just snap building that kit took hours, and that again wasn't including the time spent to like cut out and prepare all the parts ahead of time. So these are hefty kits, and you can see why I compare them to perfect grades, especially some of the larger ones like this one. Like kit like this plus the cannon parts, I mean, you're talking like a perfect grade and a half at that point. There are a few more parts that are going to be added onto here. I'm not really sure why they did it like this in the manual, but or just in the designing of the construction of this part of the kit. There are like the classic like little Zoids joint cap parts, but for some reason they don't have you put these on until the very end when you're like assembling all the parts of the tail together. Don't really know why they don't have you stick those on to like each section along the way, but you might as well, don't fall. There you go. Might as well. So yeah. Hope that you guys are doing well and have plans for a fun weekend. I think that we're going to the beach on Sunday. It's the plans that I'm aware of. Other than that, we have some friends that are going to be moving soon. I'm just going to go ahead and attach these tail parts on here. So kind of like this is like the last weekend to hang out with them. So I'd assume probably going to be spending some good time with them. Here's our 3 sections of the tail we've added here so far to this lengthy boy. I'm gonna set this here carefully and just making sure so I can keep setting it down without it falling off anywhere. 2 more sections of the tail and then the final tail section. Any plans for any GM projects in the future? Would love to see you tackle and improve the cheapo HGC one. No. So anyway, the short answer to your question is no plans. But as far as tackling that particular kit, I honestly don't know what I would do with that kit. I built and reviewed that kit, even though it's an old kit. I built it and reviewed it not that long ago, sometime within the past year. Actually, I think it's probably going on just about a year ago now, because I needed that kit in order to make the conversion for the Gym cannon. So I had that 3D printed resin conversion kit for making the Gym cannon. Let's see, 10. 10. So, yeah, I mean, I had fun with that HGC Gym in using it for the conversion kit, but if it's like just that kit on its own, I'm honestly not sure. I mean, just off the top of my head, no idea what I would possibly do with it. But it's a fun kit, I mean, just for its simplicity, but it's not like there are other kits that are similarly fun for their similar simplicity, and the Gym's not really one of my like favorite designs. So I mean, if I wanted to take like an older, simpler HGUC kit and make a fun project out of it, the Gym wouldn't be my choice. But I don't know, maybe someday I'll be out mowing the yard and I'll suddenly have a inspiration and think of some idea like, oh, that would be cool to do with the Gym. Actually, now that you mention it, there is a project that I've had in mind for a while, like a mini diorama vignette kind of project, using like with like a Zaku and a Gundam fighting in like locked in like a fighting scene between the two of them. I mean, and in that project, in that scene, I could swap out the Gundam for a Gym, I suppose. The scene would work the same way, so that's possible. But I don't know. Anyway, no plans. Gotta head out. Not exactly interested in Zoids all that much. All right, adios. Yeah, I understand the sentiment. And to be clear, this is not a kit that I would have opted to build had Kotobukiya not sent it to me. So thank you, Kotobukiya, for sending the kit. Because it's certainly a fun, interesting experience. All right. I think this section as well, also using those same poly caps here, H and 10. H and 10. So yeah, I'm not sure when, can't say for sure right now when the next part, third and final part of the live stream for this will be quite yet. I would aim for maybe next Friday, a week from today, but I'm not sure between now and then. Might just kind of get bogged down working on other projects and things and might not have all the parts ready in time for that, so don't want to promise anything, but it's a target to aim for anyway. Shout out to Kodo, yes, indeed. What's up, David? Yeah, the old gold Zaku cannon idea definitely just has me wanting more of that sort. The fact that most old stuff is just cheap and still imprinted is amazing potential. Yeah, I mean, it's a 1/100 scale kit that comes with a full sheet of waterside decals for MSRP of 1,000 yen. So, I mean, if you can get it for anywhere near MSRP, it's like $7. I mean, that's pretty much how much it would cost you just for the water slides alone, and you have the full kit. Now, granted, it's a full kit that requires a ton of work, but if you enjoy working on kits like that, then, I mean, yeah, they're great. Absolutely. So that's one thing that I hope this contest will illuminate for some people. Some people maybe have experience before working on these type of kits, but I think for a lot of people maybe they don't necessarily. So hopefully a lot of people get the chance to try something new that they end up enjoying. All right. This is the last of the regular tail sections before the final section. Have you ever played Halo Reach? Yes, I have. Back in the day, not anytime recently. For sure, it's probably been, I mean, since that that game came out when I was in college, if I remember correctly, and so that would have been when I played it. I want to recreate the Noble team by picking 6 kits of the same grade and just custom paint them. I can't decide on which kits to use for each member. Yeah, I don't know. Could go for like different HG, the origin, like Xeon kits, because you have like different ones, like different versions of the Zaku 1, Zaku 2, the WAF, the prototype Dom. So like all these kits that have like a kind of similar aesthetic look to them, but the designs are a little bit different, right? That could be kind of cool, something like that. Unfortunately, and I was just actually, Adam and I were just speaking about this earlier today, that a lot of those kits haven't been reprinted recently, so you might have a hard time getting your hands on them is the problem. Okay. This is another difficult part of the construction here, it would seem. Well, not difficult, but I need to kind of make sure I'm doing the right parts here. Bear with me a moment. I'm supposed to put this through here, and then let's see. Is that not this one? That's not that. Okay, this is the part that I was looking for. This little one here. For some reason, this part needs to be like inserted one way and then rotated 90 degrees or something like that, I guess. So, let's see. Oh, okay. Kind of straightforward in that it really kind of only fits in one particular way, but it's meant to be able to extend out like that. For this is like the center cannon, which folds up and collapses inside the tail when not in use. I'm probably just going to have it in use, so it doesn't really matter in my case. And there's a tiny little clear part which I left there. I left a bit of the runner attached to it because it's such a small little clear part. I was worried about losing it. that goes where? Okay, in here. No. Yeah, and there's another clear part that goes in the guns here. So I'm gonna make a little note because I need to, when I go home, it seems like there's a couple of parts that I forgot. So unless those are somewhere else, and make a note. So there's this part here that I need to grab. And then I think this one here too. I love this thing, by the way. It's this like highlighter from Korea. And it's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see just because how bright that is. It's very bright anyway. But it's like a wax, kind of like a crayon, I guess, sort of. It's like a soft wax. But on paper, it's like really bright. It's kind of cool. I like it. I don't really use it that much, but it's fun to use. Oh yeah, for sure. The Jim Spartan would be, I mean, the P-Bandaichi Jim Spartan would be great for Halo Reach variants, of course, because it already has a very what's it? Spartan. Well, it's in the name, right? But the Halo Spartan look to it. Had the Gojulas Theogre in my backlog for a year now. One day I'll take that beast on. I mean, I would say just go for it. I mean, you know, don't let your dreams be dreams. Don't let your kit collect dust. I mean, it's going to take you a while, you know, whether it be now or later. It's going to be a long build, so might as well get cracking, right? Otherwise, it's just sitting there. So, all right, let's see. That's going like that. And really hoping that, okay. I was kind of worried that when I pressed these parts together, that little tiny clear part in there was going to go and just disappear. Fortunately, it did not. All right. Come on. That said, there's a little bit of weird flash on this part for some reason. It's better. That's the little hidden gun inside the tail there, which extends out. Kind of cool. Okay. But more importantly, we have these parts. And this goes... Really? Into there like that? That doesn't seem right. But apparently that is right. Okay, I am somewhat concerned. But I guess that's right. Yeah, okay, so that fits in there like that. Okay, I was just not really fathoming exactly how that fits down inside there like that, but there we go. Just trust the process. And the question is if I want to have that in or out. And I think, based on the fact that I unfortunately didn't paint the inside of these parts, I didn't really think about that. Probably just going to opt to have this part closed up because I unfortunately didn't have the foresight to paint the inside of there. Guess I could just grab some enamel paint later and just paint that in, so I'll just leave it open. It's a shame to have that cool detail of this little hidden gun in there in the tail and then not actually be able to have that on display. But I also don't have the inside of this part painted, so maybe we're just going to opt to just hide that inside there. Okay. I think we can close this up, right? Yes? Okay. Oof. Oof. Okay. Got it. So in theory, this part opens up like that, and then this little gun comes out. Oh, I guess what I can do, actually, never mind, I take that back, because what you can do is actually just keep that closed with the gun out like that. So yeah, we can do that. Cool. Nice. That works fine. I'm okay with that. That like that. Then what's next? Okay, yeah, that clear part, which I forgot for this part. Oh, and I'm not gonna, that means I can't build this part without that clear part, unfortunately. So I have to leave this to the side for right now. So we won't be able to add these last couple of, like, the guns that fit on like the side of the, go on the side of this tail bit right here, unfortunately. We won't be able to put on at the moment. Because the camera part inside needs to be able to fit in there. The clear part, and I won't be able to put the clear part in after the fact. It has to fit in inside there. So it's gonna assemble these couple of sections, a couple of parts here, and we unfortunately just have to put this to the side for the moment. This will fit onto there. Wait. That. All right, so the tail's not completely 100% done as it is. That's unfortunate, but maybe I have those parts in a different section. There's a section like for the arms where there's a couple of clear parts that I'm uncertain if I actually needed all those clear parts that I have cut out for the arms, so we'll see. There's our last bit of the tail, and connecting that on is going to make the tail rather long indeed. A lot longer than like kind of appears in the pictures, actually, to be honest. Whoop. There you go. And not very easy to manipulate without popping these parts out. Hang on. Look at that tail. So we got the body and then tail, all the way to the end there. All right, so yeah, that's a lot. Let's go ahead and put together one of the arms, and then we'll do the backpack. Sound good? Okay. So the arms, are those what's actually next in the manual? Yes, in fact. Nice. There are a lot of parts in each arm. So I'm only imagining how many parts there's going to be in the legs as well. And the legs will also have much larger parts because they're obviously going to be much more load bearing. But let's see. Yeah. Looking at the clear parts for the arms, it's unfortunately not the clear parts that I need for that tail. What I do need here first, these couple of parts, and polycap 36. This one here. All right. Never had an interest in Zoids, but this looks great. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's not one that I would have picked out either. 25. Well, look like 25. Mostly just because of the fact of like it's so huge. But I mean, it's a giant mecha Tyrannosaurus. I mean, it's pretty cool. That said, there are other giant Mecha Tyrannosaurus in like the different Tyrannosaur type Zoids, like the Genosaur and the what's the Genobreaker, the Sturm Tyrann, right? Is that the other one? Anyway, there's other ones that are available. And here we go. So I don't even have all of the parts out on the table. There's still some in here, but just trying to get through maybe the first couple of steps of assembly here before I get all of the parts out and just make a complete mess. That and that, and where'd the other one go? Okay. And where's that? There's this other light gray part here. Go on the front. Making sense now? It's the biggest PC runner I've ever seen. It's a pretty big one, but I mean, there's definitely Gundam kits that have polycap runners this big, so. Mistook the thumbnail for an Ultrasaurus. Chocolate chip cookies. Is there like an Ultrasaurus Zoids kit? I'm not sure what that is or anything about that, but yeah. Let's see. Put these over here. All right, so there's a lot of parts for the arm, so trying to keep somewhat organized here. There's that. Okay. Also want to try to keep an eye on the time as well. The fingers are pretty cool. Once we get to that section, building the hands. So I think the way the different parts are going to go together for the hands is going to look really cool. Interesting. It's cool because when I'm cutting out the parts, I'm just looking at the manual and cutting out the parts, and then working on the parts. Oh no, rats! Wait, yeah, I was not supposed to put that on yet. Damn it. Okay. Gonna have to take that back off again. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, working on the parts. I don't really know where exactly all the parts go and exactly how they fit together. So there's some of these parts for the arm that, like, yeah, while I was working on them, I was thinking to myself, I couldn't really picture exactly how they go on there together. But it's cool to see now, finally, how the parts actually fit together. Having to employ my part separator here. So we got a couple of these. Okay. Yeah, so these clear parts need to go in there first for some reason, although it does kind of seem like these could have fit in there later. 1, 2. There we go. That's cool. Kind of two-tone clear parts. So you have a clear yellow, orange, and a clear red part that fit together and then fit in there, giving you the really cool colors. I am planning on spraying some matte coat on this later when it's all done, so I'm gonna have to just mask all of the clear parts, unfortunately. It's gonna be kind of a pain, but there's not a ton of them. There's just a few here and there. So but this is like the top of the shoulder, essentially there. Which it has us building the left and the left side, then the right side, and then moving on to the main part of the arm. But I separated the parts, so we're only building one of the sides for right now. PC 43 is up next. This one, and we're gonna have a couple more. PC 42. 23. It's that one. And 24. Teeny tiny little one. Okay. Small little polycap there. Only seen the Tommy ones from back in the day, but unfortunately, yeah, no HMM, right? Yeah. There wouldn't be any HMM model kits of those. Could be cool though, maybe someday. How am I even supposed to get this little polycap down into there? There we go. And actually, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but let's get some of these other polycaps out of the way here. Wait, what? There we go. Was supposed to be doing this one. This one here. What's that? Okay. Oh, you know what? I think I do have the clear parts for the tail. If this is correct, let me just double check here. Nope. Definitely not. Okay. I was hopeful, but unfortunately not. There's another clear part, but I guess it's for somewhere else on the arm. Thought maybe I just cut it out and threw it into the wrong section here. This one's here and here. This one going where? Like this. Okay. Damn it. Wait, what? Because this is not wanting to fit in there. And that should be the right one. Let me just see here. Yep, should be. And I can see how it's supposed to fit in there, but I'm wondering if this is the right piece. W26. Might have another wrong piece situation here. Hang on. Hopefully not. W26. Well, I wouldn't imagine so. It's not that one. I think it's right. I just maybe. Oh yeah, okay. I just didn't have it pushed in there quite all the way, and it's weird. So if you see here, why I was confused, this gold piece has this like little rectangular tab that fits into here, but as you can see, it doesn't fit into there exactly right. It leaves a little bit of a gap there. So I'm looking at it thinking, is there another part that's like looks very similar and just has a little bit different size tab there that fits into here, but it's right. But for some reason, there's just a bit of a gap. Don't really quite understand that, but okay. So now like that, that's like that. This one here. Whoa. Tight fit. Next. All right. Maybe it moves like a piston. No, it doesn't move. That was that. Some of those like piston looking parts do move. That one doesn't. So that I thought something similar, but doesn't seem to be the case. It's just oddly shaped for some reason. What? All right, there's that. This one's gonna go in there. Oh, interesting. Okay. There are absolutely moving piston parts, just not that one. Where's that little guy? I recognize it. I can't see where it is. There it is. This one's going here in the bicep. This one is on like the front of the bicep. This one is a moving part. Whoop. Should be, that should stay together like that, and then this part should move. And this should go where? Like this. Okay. Interesting. Quite the assembly here. So it seems like when this part of the arm, or when the elbow moves, there's this part here inside which will push the piston to move. Interestingly. So otherwise it wouldn't like just naturally move on its own, I guess. So, okay. Alrighty. Interesting. Okay, need a couple more polycaps here. 24 and 42 again. There's that, and 42 was... Where? There's got to be another one here. Okay, right there. Right in front of my eyes. There, and that's there. Not interested in building what you're working on now, but if I was, I'd definitely be intimidated by all that. Yeah, it's a lot, but you know, it's not anything that different from just building a HG Gundam kit. I mean, it's just more of the same. I mean, you just take one part and add it to another part. Just repeated more times than standard Gundam kit or many of, I mean, it's using Gundam as an example, but lots of other different kinds of kits that would, of course, work similarly. All right, now there's a lot of pieces here that need to be lined up to get this on here properly. Hopefully we won't mess anything up. I think we got it. Okay. Whew. Nice. Next. What is that? This one's next. And then this one. All right, our arm is taking shape. But I don't like that. Seems like there's something not right there. Why is that like that? I don't have this backwards or something, do I? Okay. There's supposed to be a little bit of a gap there, I guess. All right. Just making sure. Let's see. Some more hoses here on the back of the arm. It's nice to see how, like, I gotta say, it's a very refreshing feeling having all of these parts and to see the parts here, this stack of parts dwindling down. It's very refreshing knowing that we're almost done with this section. Because it's a lot. Next page. Oh no, I'm late. MJ, you're not that. I mean, yeah, we're an hour into it, but I mean, you're okay. I was wondering, so there's this teeny tiny piece here. I was wondering where this was gonna go. I mean, I guess I could have looked in the manual, but again, it's like once I check the manual just to cut out the parts, after that, I mean, like I'm working on all the parts. I'm not really having a good sense unless it's a very easily recognizable part. I'm operating without having a good proper sense as to where everything goes. But because this part is a very small part and it doesn't seem like the strongest connection, I'm gonna put some glue on that because I want to make sure that thing's not going anywhere. And it's not going to hinder the articulation or anything, so that's fine. Next. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. These are parts too, so like working on these parts, like doing the panel lining on there, I kind of had to guess as to, I should have checked the manual, because there's quite a bit of lining that I did on those parts that's now ultimately covered up that I didn't really need to do. Oof. Gotta love that creak of a tight fit there. All right. PC1, we need 2 of, and we're just about to the hands, thankfully. It's like that. Oh yeah. Around this way. I have definitely found with this kit as well, I think I mentioned this in the first part of building it, that there's a lot of parts that are like the left and the right side are slightly different, and they really don't need to be. Like there's this little vent piece that fits into here, and it needs to go in like a certain way. If you try to put it any other way, it wouldn't work. There's really no reason that it needs to be like that and not work the other way around. Just makes it kind of annoying. Oof. Yeah, gotta love that creak. All right, got time to add some orange to this thing at long last. If we can, this is meant to fit into here, right? Yep. Right there on the back of the arm. Oh, I'm so glad that I decided to repaint the blue parts into orange, because the blue just looks kind of boring, and this orange looks so much better with this color scheme. I mean, it's personal preference, but I mean, I think that orange looks really, really good. Much better. Okay, so now we set that aside and start on the fingers. Okay, which it has like ×2 and then ×4 for a different finger type, but I have to basically do it in half, ×1 and then ×2, because I separated the parts, the left and the right side. How the manual has you build it is building all the parts, all the fingers for both hands at the same time, but I'm going to be building only the fingers for just one of the hands at the moment, so have to keep that in mind. And we need some polycaps. Let's see, 7 and 39. Yep, 3 of those. 7. 1, 2, 3. And 39 was these ones. Okay. I think that's all right. Hopefully. Yes. Seems so. Okay. So this one, like that. This polycap goes in the opposite side. No, not that. This one here. Even the fingers are going to be huge on this. I think once they're all put together here, you guys will see. It does go there, right? Yep, I do have it upside down. Like that, and this one's on the underside, right? I think so. Nope. All the way around. Okay. This gold piece on the top, and this gray piece at the front. This gray piece underneath there. Just trying to focus in, make sure I'm not missing anything here on the fingers, so bear with me a moment. Sometimes I gotta focus a little bit, make sure I don't mess up anything. So there's one finger. It's including polycaps. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 parts for one finger. While working on this kit, I was thinking like, oh, for making one arm is probably more parts than most high-grade kits. It's just a lot. That's there. there. That's there. This is an exhausting build, but I gotta say it's definitely rewarding. Like I was saying before, I'm really glad that I opted to repaint some of the parts and then also do the panel lining on this, because it's the kind of kit that there's no way that I would have the patience to actually go through and do like a proper full paint job on. But I'm really happy with how this is looking, just with the kind of minimal amount of work. I want to say it's not, I mean, it's a bit more than minimal, I guess, to be fair to myself, but just doing a little bit of work on this is going a long way to make it pretty good looking, pretty impressive. What's not impressive is a nub here that I forgot to remove. Okay. So I can't wait till after after finishing with everything, of course, but in the meantime, the in-between time, I'm excited to show you guys how this is looking, just with the progress that we've made today. Once we're finished for today, we're not done yet. So, like I said, after finishing just this one arm, then I want to build the backpack. The backpack cannon parts, there's not a ton of parts, so that should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so there's this little cap part here for the cannons. So part of the cannon set is these like guns that attach onto the side of the arm, sort of similar to like the goof. And that's what this little cap piece here appears to be for, which it seems like there's one that's meant to go on both sides of that. So I'll have to make another note, because I definitely didn't cut out both. Let's see. Circle that. Do you think Gunpla has had a sudden surge in popularity recently? I've noticed a lot more content creators getting into Gundam, or maybe it's just my FBI stalker fixing the algorithm for me. I think it's both. Epic. I think it's both. It has certainly grown in popularity. And also there's an influx of, I mean, this is just in every hobby and just like people in general, there's an influx of content creators probably in every hobby. And so that certainly includes Gunpla, just as being a content creator is something that more and more people are interested in doing and being. So yes, there's absolutely an increase in both. So all right, it's not immediately discernible to me what's different about the first finger and the subsequent fingers that we've put together, but at any rate, fortunately I kept them separated so I could be able to tell which one I made first and which one separated, or at least I could tell. Ugh. It's a tight fit there. These guys gonna go like this. Hang on. H26. H26, okay. Nothing different about those parts. I was wondering if like these couple of armor parts are slightly different. Okay. Very interesting. Speaking of interesting, one thing that I'm interested in doing with this is actually for like ultimately how I want to have the kit displayed. doing something like with the box art. If you guys remember what the box art looks like for this kit, it's like got it's like in the process of essentially like ripping apart a I can't remember exactly which other Zoids, some what's it called, the Darkhorn or something like that. Anyway, one of the like Ceratopsian Zoids. And so I was thinking it would be cool to basically like recreate that. This thing has massive hands with like one of the smaller Zoids, maybe not with the exact same one that's on the box art, but with like a different Zoids figure, a Zoids kit, like one of the smaller ones. Like I think like the Iguan or something, right, is one of the smaller ones. Here's where that other clear part goes, is here in, we got more guns. So just like we had 3 little cannons at the end of the tail and 4 cannons at the base of the tail, you gotta have some smaller but equally impressive cannons here on the forearms as well, naturally, because why not have more guns? So that's going to, okay, so yeah, this is going to attach here. Should have plugged this part on this side. This is going to attach onto the side of the arm right there. Not sure if that's meant to be like that or like that, but and one more polycap here is gonna be number 34. Pretty big chunky one for our arm connection here, basically. Are you excited for Alien Romulus? Patrick, come on. You know I'm an Alien fan, so I definitely am. What I'm gonna be curious about, like, I'm excited about it either way. What I'm curious about is if it's all related to the past movies, to Prometheus and Covenant. I don't know, and I'm sure it's probably it's known, but I don't want to know at the moment. I don't know because I haven't checked any information about the movie, so I'm hoping to keep it that way. I want to go into watching the movie without knowing anything about it ahead of time. That's what I'm going to try to do. So that way I'm not having any preconceived notions or ideas about what's going to be involved or not. Is David going to be involved at all, or that's just not, he's just not part of the story. It's not related whatsoever. I don't know. And so I'm just going to try to keep it that way until I can have a chance to go see it. Is it out yet? I'm not sure. All right. So again, this is like one of the last things we're supposed to do according to the instructions, but I'm gonna go ahead and pop this arm on right now, because who has time to wait until the end of the construction? David, you're involved. Not you, David. Of course, I mean Michael Fassbender, David. So yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what to expect, and so I'm just gonna opt to keep it that way until it's movie time. All right, here we go. We have an arm and a tail and a kit that's just growing exponentially. Let's see, I'm going to zoom way out with the arm attached and the tail coming off. Don't want that. There you go. It is huge. Ugh. Yes, it's gonna be a big kit to have on display wherever it ends up being on display. Certainly not here in my tiny office. Hopefully down in the showroom, but even down in like our storefront showroom here at USA Gundam Store. I'm not sure where exactly I'm gonna have room for this thing, but let's see where we are on time first. We okay? Yeah, we got a little bit of time. And the backpack, like I said, not too complicated, so I think we should be able to hopefully whip up some thing here with the backpack parts. Let's get to it. Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty quick section of the build here, essentially. These parts. All right. And everything's ×2, which is always convenient. Also. Oh, well, yeah, Patrick, fortunately in the chat, I can see your comment that says ignore my previous comment, but I cannot see the previous comment. So fortunately, yeah, I'm good on that. I can't see whatever it was, so that's good. But I can only assume that it was something to do with the story or whatever then. But yeah, I don't want to know. But if you're asking me, I can only assume that you are also excited, looking forward to it. So yeah. A lot of people have very mixed thoughts on some of the recent entries in the series, but it's all good for me. I mean, certain entries are better than others. I even like Alien Resurrection, which I think most people, even Aliens fans, even like hardcore Aliens fans, I mean, I would imagine a lot of people don't really like that movie at all. But I mean, like, it's weird, it's campy, it's goofy in some parts, but I mean, I still have an appreciation for it. So, and then of course there's, I mean, Alien 3. I'm not sure which one has the more. I guess it's probably between Alien 3 and 4. Which one is kind of more hated or divisive among fans? I'm not sure, but I would imagine that 3 is more divisive in that, like, some people like it, some people don't. 4, I think, is my guess would be it's just kind of universally not liked. But I don't mind it. I enjoy it from time to time. Two is, of course, my favorite. Followed by 1. And then after 1, I don't know. I like Prometheus a lot. This build must be awful with how parts dense Kodo kits tend to be. It's dense. It has a lot of parts. The big T-Rex, yes. Oh, shit, I need both of those. Okay, I got them. Never mind. I like Prometheus. I like it a lot, but there's a lot of interesting aspects to Prometheus. There's also a lot of dumb stuff. Like, I have to agree with the critics that there's a lot of really stupid stuff in Prometheus that I do my best to ignore when watching it, and I just enjoy it for the good bits. But there's some parts that's like, what the fuck? Like the whole bit, I'm very excited. I like, yeah. I have to watch Covenant again because I think I've only seen it maybe once or twice. I would like to see it again before seeing Romulus. But like, for example, in Prometheus, like when the two guys get lost in the temple, when they're there like at first, and then they split off from the group, and then everybody goes back to the ship, and those two guys are just like lost in there, and one of them is the geologist who's the one that's there like making the map. I don't know how he doesn't have access to the map that his like little drones are making. It's really dumb and goofy. And then when they find the alien worm, and the guy who, if I remember correctly, is like a biologist, and just like immediately like reaches out and tries to touch it. It's like very hard to believe parts of that movie. And then just the whole mysterious aspect of the black goo in general, which I've seen different theory videos and stuff about like what exactly it's supposed to be, how exactly it's supposed to work and stuff. It's very, very unclear. And I mean, I'm fine with chalking a lot of it up to it's just weird alien stuff that we just can't understand because we don't know anything about it. Like if you had a person like from the even 100 years ago, from the 1920s, and showed them your iPhone, I mean, they would have no idea how it works or anything or what's even going on with it at all, right? So I'm fine with kind of saying, okay, it's like some weird alien black goo that does different things in different situations and kind of doesn't really make sense, but that's fine. But some of the actions of the humans in the movie are just head scratchers, like kind of really take you out of the experience. Come on. Tight parts here. Unless you get it in just right. There we go. As we're getting close to being done here for today, we just ask you guys, what are you guys planning on working on this weekend? Anything fun? As for me, as per usual, I typically don't work on much hobby related stuff over the weekend because usually mostly just family time and busy with other things. But those of you guys who do have models to work on this weekend, what are you going to be working on? Actually, if I do have any time this weekend, one thing that I would like to work on, if I have the chance, would be just working on cutting out all the rest of the parts for this kit. So like I said, the parts for the legs and the cannons, I need to just cut out and in order to start working on. And so if I can at least do that, that'd be cool. Maybe like Sunday evening or something. Aha. Glad to see that the inside of these parts is going to be kind of covered up. Because the panel lining on the inside of these parts didn't really go well. So glad it's kind of covered up a little bit. Just because of the paint that I'm using. More so the primer. What I used the first time around, preparing the parts for the first part of the build, I wanted to try using the SMS surfacer, And what I found out that I didn't know about it was that it's a bit grainier than I expected. So if you guys have used like Mr. Hobby surfacer, you know that there's like 1000 Mr. Hobby, it's like surfacer 1000 and 1200, 1500 is like finishing surfacer. I'm not sure what the grit is meant to be on the SMS surfacer, but it's pretty gritty. So it seems like it's like at least 1000, if not maybe like 800 or something like that. Even grittier than like your standard Mr. Hobby surfacer. There's our parts for making Anakin's pod racer here. But yeah, so that made the paint like a little bit rough, and it's not a huge problem, but it does make it a little bit more difficult to panel line. So, but since that's how I did the first parts, I didn't want the second group of parts to look inconsistent from the first group, so I had to just kind of roll with it, and yeah, the result is that the paint is a little bit rough. So that makes panel lining a slight challenge in some parts. Oh shoot! Put that part on backwards. I just put away my knife and part separator. Both the tools which I could use to pop this apart again. Just put away. That's the perfect example of like, sometimes I was just talking about earlier, sometimes there's parts of the build where like the left and the right side, or the right way to put it in and the wrong way to put it in is different for no seemingly obvious reason. Whereas with this part, it was the opposite. There was a good reason to make the left and the right side go together in a certain way, because the lines match up one way and the other way they don't match up. This would be this part. Just a second, guys. Phone. Just realized that the whole time my mic was like farther away. Hopefully you guys have been able to hear me okay. Probably not that well, but all right. The duck. Oh, you're talking about that duck bath kit? Hello? Yeah, I'm just like suddenly getting blown up with spam calls, but I'm expecting a call from the clinic, so I want to make sure that I answer, because something I'm waiting on a call. All right, getting tired now, but we're almost done with this part, so just hang in there. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. Let's see, 37. 37, there it is. Oh, that's why I had the knife here. Just kind of figured I was done with that, but apparently not. Whoa, oops. Cut into the polycap a little bit too much there. Hopefully that's not an issue. Right, okay. So, hey, in other news, are you guys playing what is it, Zenless Zone Zero? Are you guys playing that? The new Hoyoverse game. Anybody playing that? I have been a little bit, and I do enjoy it. So I tried playing. What was the other one? Honkai Star Rail when that came out, and kind of quickly didn't really get into it. I wasn't super into it. Oh, shoot, more parts I forgot here. So kind of quickly gave up on Honkai Star Rail. And I'm thinking probably not going to keep playing ZZZ for too terribly much longer. But I'm trying it, and so far it's interesting. I enjoy the combat. It's fun, but it's a bit repetitive too. I mean, like, because the combat is fun, but I only ever play the game for 15-20 minutes maybe max at a time. Oh, and I also need a bit more orange paint on there, or I'm gonna have to touch up that paint. I think I'll probably just touch it up with a little gray paint or something later on. It's a little bit more of this part that's showing than I expected. But yeah, okay. Yeah, it is definitely a large kit. And there's also this part which goes on the side. I'm pretty sure this is where the cannons plug onto, so I'm not gonna push this part in very firmly quite yet. I'm not gonna leave that right there for right now. Yeah, I want to touch up the paint a bit on these parts. Let's see. That's it for that side. This side. Nobody playing Zenless Zone Zero, huh? Fair enough. But yeah. I think it's just gonna be hard for me to find any game that I enjoy, mobile game, that I enjoy as much as I enjoy playing Genshin. It's one of the things that I love about Genshin that is missing from Zenless Zone Zero and other games like why I didn't stick with Honkai Star Rail too, is like the exploration aspect of it. I'm less interested in playing a RPG. I'm much more interested in like the exploration. So, have I played UC Engage? No, I have not. So that's it for right now. It's all the parts here for the arms. Oh, and a couple of other parts I realized I forgot. Here's gonna be this one and this one. Yeah, no, not played UC Engage. I haven't played any Gundam games since the Gundam Breaker, was it? No. Well, yeah, they changed the name of it to Gundam Breaker Mobile or something like that. The Gundam Battle Gunpla Warfare, whatever it was, that mobile game. I was playing for a while, and that also just got to be kind of repetitive, boring. It's basically just a collection game, just collecting mobile suits and stuff, and wasn't really all that exciting. So the cannons I'm gonna put on here tentatively, but like I said, I do want to touch up the paint a bit on these later. There's one little bit in there that I kind of missed. But let's see. Can you see that, hopefully? Gonna be kind of hard to show you guys. But that's it for today for part 2. That's a wrap on the Gojulas thus far. I'll finish the other arm, put that together off camera. A couple of parts that I was missing, like the parts for the other cannon bits here at the tail. I need to grab those parts and finish that up. And then in the next live build, we'll build the legs and the cannons, which I should plan to have plenty of time for that, because based on how long it took to build one of the arms, you know, like doing the math, extrapolating that out to, I can only imagine it's probably more parts, just as much if not more parts for the legs. And if I'm planning on building both during the live stream, then do want to make sure I have plenty of time for that. So till then, without his legs, looks like, yeah, he does a bit. I was thinking that too, especially if you angle the tail down a little bit. It doesn't go down any farther than that, but yeah, it does kind of look like a slug. Speaking of alien, right? It kind of looks like the baby xenomorph after it pops out of the chest, right? A bit in the general shape, except that it also looks like a gigantic mecha tyrannosaurus. So anyway, all right, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Yeah, big build, but it's gonna be pretty cool when it's all done. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be gigantic. No idea where I'm gonna put it, but we will find out together next time on Live Build. All right. Yeah, and have a good weekend, guys. Enjoy. And I'll see you all next week, where we will be, like I said, hopefully finishing the live build of this. As far as other live builds next week, TBD. I'll let you know. All right. See you later, guys. Bye.